Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for tuning in once again. My name is DrWeez and this is my YouTube channel, Facebook channel and Twitch channel. Thanks for tuning in. So listen, today just very quickly, I've got literally 23 minutes before I have to go and fetch my daughter from where she's spending the afternoon, and I've got just a quick little project. So I've got a customer's ROG 1080 Ti Strix, and well, if you have a close look at it, you might be able to identify what the problem with it is. So these guys here, somehow the guy managed to stick his finger in, or a screwdriver or a cable, and well, it's broken off two fan blades. The other problem is that this fan here doesn't turn at all as well, so that's seized up. And I'm picking up that seems to be quite a common problem with these Strix coolers, especially the first fan. I've had quite a few of those fail on me in the last year. If there's no physical damage though, take it back to your retailer and it is covered by the warranty. Unfortunately though, the minute you start seeing things like that, that's warranty void, it's physical damage, it's user error, and the only way to get that up and running again is to buy replacement fans. So I've ordered some replacement fans into stock and they finally arrived today. So I've got come in a full set, so we've got all three of them, and what I plan to do very quickly now is just take the fans off, put the new ones in and be done. So a really quick session today. I hope to be done in literally 15 minutes. Now the main problem is the screen where I plan to do the work is on the benching screen, but I see that camera is not working. So just a reminder that I am live on Twitch, YouTube and Facebook all at the same time. I struggle to keep up with all the chats, so try and drop me a message on the Twitch chat. It's the one I see the most often, or on Facebook. Alright, so just a quick question. Why do the fans need replacing? The customer was an idiot and he managed to actually damage the fan blades, so it's now physical damage and that won't be covered by the RMA, by the manufacturer. So the only way to come around that is now for the customer, is for me to replace the fans for them, send it back to them, and obviously invoice them out for the replacement, the cost of the replacement. The first fan on the shroud is also seized up. Now that I could RMA, but unfortunately because there's physical damage I can't RMA it. Right, so now I don't know why this camera's not working. Give me a second. I'm going to quickly see if I can just disable and enable this top-down camera, and then we can switch to, there we go, and we can switch to that feed and get cracking, because time is of an essence. So like I said, I've got the 3 replacement fans, and you can pick these up from a few locations. I've got a couple of them coming into stock in South Africa, so I'm not going to tell you my source, you can Google it, or you can buy them directly from my store, which will be going live one of these days very shortly. We're just busy getting some stocks and stuff all sorted out. But anyway, so there's the 3 replacement fans. First thing we need to do is identify that this card still does have the warranty sticker intact. So the warranty is not essentially voided on this card, it's just that they won't cover any warranty on the physical damage. So replacing the fans, we do not need to actually remove the cooler, so we don't void the warranty, which is always great. And I haven't had a test case yet where I take a car to the distributor with changed fans to see how they react to the fact that we've changed the fans. The fact that we can change the fans without breaking the sticker is always makes me think that it should be fine. But yeah, I haven't tested it, so we'll have to wait and see. So the tools you need for this job, you need a Phillips, a small little, like a jewelry Phillips or star screwdriver. I'd suggest getting yourself a little container to put the screws into, and really it's quite straightforward. There's 3 screws underneath, there's 3 screws on the top here, and then there's 4 screws per fan which need to be replaced. Now I have got a backup screwdriver here which has got a little bit of press stick on it, so for like that screw that is in between the fans is quite difficult to get to remove, and even more difficult to line up and put back in the screw hole. Right, so I'm just going to quickly open up the chat window and see if there's anybody else posting questions there. I've dropped a screw in there. So the other tool you could maybe have on hand is a pair of long nose. Right, I do have a pair on my desk here that's nice and easy. So what you can do is just get in between those fan blades and just retrieve the bad screw. So that's the three that are holding on the shroud, and you can now safely remove that. What you could do is leave it connected or disconnect the lighting effect, and then you can actually put it somewhere safe. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove now 4 screws per fan, and then remove the harness. Now this fan has completely seized up, so it definitely has to be replaced. And again, we're just going to pop the screws in. Looking at the screws, there are different screws for the shroud and for the fans. So I'm actually going to get a second container and keep them separated, just for quickness and ease of use, getting everything back together again. So there's my second container, that's for fan screws. Alright, so we've got some texture. How's it, Draftman? Timothy, thanks for tuning in. I had a couple of these cards, sold both for about 1,000. Yeah, mining craze. Yeah, they're not bad. This as a gamer's card. I wouldn't be surprised by if I look at the condition of the card that it's maybe doing a little bit of something when he's not gaming. But you know, it's not my place to ask a customer what he's doing with the hardware he buys from me. I just make sure that I can service it. Alright, so there's the first removed. Let's just quickly, before we go any further, let's just have a look at the fans that were provided, and to make sure that it is a good fit. So that looks like it's a good fit. Now the connector is the same, which is pretty good. That means we don't have to replace all 3. We can simply get away with replacing the damaged fans, as long as the rest of the harness is the same. So what I noticed is before, the harness is not identical for the cards that the fan fits on. So these fans are pretty unique. Not unique, they're pretty universal for the complete Strix range, the latest Strix range. So I'm talking the 480, 580, 470, 1060, 1070, 1080 Strix all use the same diameter fan, but the harnesses are different. So I'm looking at this harness, and we're going to get away with not having to replace all the fans. So this fan is still fine. I will leave it on, and I'll just replace the last faulty fan. And what I want to do is, before I go and put the screws in, I want to replace the fan, I want to remove the fans I want to replace, place the replacement fans in place to make sure that they actually fit on the harnesses, and then I'll go ahead and screw everything up. There's nothing worse than unscrewing and then tightening and then having to remove it because you made an idiot mistake of not having a little bit of forward thought. And while I'm in a hurry, I honestly don't want to rush and make a mistake either, or drop a screw on the floor in the OC lab, because there's just no ways you'll find that screw again. It will be gone. The OC lab is in a bit of a disaster area at the moment. Okay, so this fan is connected into the harness, which means we now have to remove the working fan from the harness and then the harness from the card. Now, I hope you guys can have a good look at what I'm doing there. Let me just maximize it again. And yeah, right, so you should have a basic idea of what I'm getting at there. So I've removed the faulty fan, and there you can clearly see I'm missing 2 teeth. The fan still works though, so in desperation, if I have another customer, I won't throw this away. And what I'll do is I'll break off the opposite fan blades just to balance it out. So in an emergency situation, if I have another customer coming in and he's got no fan, you can either remove it completely and put 120 more fans on the shroud here if you're wanting to do a little bit of modifications, or you can just use an unbalanced fan or something. I don't know. I don't throw shit away. Alright, so now what we need to do is make sure that we can get this end fan, which will be one of these two, connected in with the new harness. So the new harness would plug into the board, which is that way. And the reason for the new harness is purely because this fan is wired directly in. So if we weren't replacing the end fan, we wouldn't have to change the harness. But because we're replacing the end fan, it means we have to put the new harness in. What we need to do is make sure that there's the first fan connector that'll reach. There's the second fan connector, and this is the original fan, and it plugs in, and it doesn't not need to be replaced. And we can connect through to the third fan. So this harness is actually perfect for this card. And now it's just a case of selecting a fan, and these two are identical, and then we'll install it in the last position. And that is, in a nutshell, that. Now it's just a case of screwing everything back together, making sure the harness is nice and tight, getting the shroud back on, and as we say in South Africa, Bob's your uncle, the job is done. So again, what we're going to do is I'm using the screwdriver with press stick on, making sure everything is nicely lined up, and we A4 away. So you'll notice that these replacement fans do not have ROG logos on them as the original fan does. So there's a little life hack or a little cheat that you can use in here. If you apply a little bit of heat to the old fan and you are quite soft to the touch, you can get that original sticker off and replaced. The other little trick you could do is included with the latest Apex motherboards, you get a nice little sticker sheet, and they do have round stickers on that sticker sheet that will fit quite nicely on those fans. So that's a little trick you could do. In this case, I'm not too bothered about it. The customer can make up his own mind of what he wants to do and how he wants to decorate his card once I've completed the job. Alright, so all we're doing now is putting the fans back, putting the screws back, doing the cable management, putting the shroud back, and we're done. And I've got exactly 2 minutes to finalize this and get on in my car to go and fetch my daughter. All in all, I think that was quite well timed. So let's have a look at what's happening in the chat. And you know, it's quite an achievement to lose a 7700K in your lab. I've lost memory modules before, but I've discovered that this desk here in the OC lab has got enough lip behind for the cables to go through. But if you're not concentrating and your memory modules end up at the back there, you tend to have a nice little surprise one day. Okay, so I've got one extra screw, which is a bit confusing to me. I'm just checking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all the screws are in, but I've got yet one extra VGA screw. Unless I've got muddled up here. I might have got muddled up. Okay, never mind. It's a shroud screw. Right, so only thing I'm not able to do, because I don't have any in stock at the moment, is the they use a fiber tape to hold the cable down. I don't have any fiber tape, and I don't want to use masking tape. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it away. Actually, wait, let me try and just use the old fiber tape. I don't think it's going to work because I would have lost here. And it's completely stickylessness. It's English, no English. And let's just try and get the shroud back on. And what you'll find is that the shroud will keep the cables away. You just got to be a little bit more careful because you aren't holding the wires in place. So now you just have to make sure that They're sitting nicely, and it is sitting nicely. So let's get those 6 screws back in, and we're done. So right, so let's just have a look here. We've got 3 screws that are short and stubby, and 3 screws that are long, thin and long. So short and stubbies will go on the top where the short and stubbies are with the rest of the screws. And let me tell you, this is a little bit of an expensive lesson for the customer, because the fans, you can't get them locally, so it's all import. And he asked for a rush shipment because I think this, you know, you can't play games without the card. So he paid DHL fees. And anything DHL to South Africa, you need a little bit of Vaseline to make sure that you can absorb the cost. I think shipping cost twice as much as the fan did. But anyway, the problem is solved. He is happy. Well, he will be happy tomorrow when I drop off the card. Okay, so we've got a slight technical difficulty here. This is the problem with not taping down. And I don't know if you can see on the stream, you just need to work the cables away from the mounting points. Like that one there is pinching on the, so you have to really work it in, get it in, line everything up, make sure it is lined up, and then you can get your screw in. And that, oh no, we dropped the screw and it went straight through, luckily. I don't have press stick on here. Right, so put it in there, tighten it up, and that is that. And in record time, we now have a fixed and working 1080 Ti. So guys, if you have fan issues, don't be scared to replace it. I never had to touch the warranty sticker. For all intents and purposes, this car still has full warranty as far as the board is concerned, because again I say because of the physical damage on the fan blades, and the warranty was basically voided on the fan blade, on the fans. I have seen these things spontaneously break off as well, but you have a very hard time convincing any distributor, especially in South Africa, that the fan just broke by themselves. And I have seen it, but there's nothing more you can really do about that, argue about that. Right, so that's about that for today. Thanks for tuning in. Let's just have a look at the chats, if we've got anything to say there. Right, so it looks sleek and easier replacement. Yeah, it's a really easy replacement. Make sure if you're going to order off the internet, make sure that you've got the dimensions and the diameter of the fan and the holes for the fan correct. So when you're going to order the fan, you need to make sure that the diameter from there to there is correct, and then also make sure you have a look at your fan holes, because if you get that wrong, you're going to pay all that extra money, all that shipping for no reason, and you know what, shipping back to these places is just not worth it. What other bit of advice as far as this is concerned, it would be great to be able to take off that cooler completely, replace the thermal paste in there as well, but unfortunately warranty void stickers can't do that anymore. So guys, I'm going to be streaming again quickly tomorrow morning. I've got an all-in-one build to do. Very straightforward. It's just a Z170 with a 6700K Corsair memory, Seasonic power supply, and a nice 32-inch or a what do they call it? Yeah, it's 32-inch RPS panel, all-in-one machine. So I demoed it last month, the month before last. It might have actually been a long time ago. I demoed just taking it out of the box and having a look at how it was set up. So I'm actually going to get that build done tomorrow. I'm away next week, so tomorrow I'll do the all-in-one. Saturday I want to do a bit of nitrogen, maybe Sunday if I got nitrogen left over as well. Stream. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, happy benching. And thanks for watching.